Good morning, students. In part 2 of Nutrition in Animals lesson, we will learn digestion in different parts of digestive system. So we are talking about digestion in humans. Now let us know what happens to the food in different parts of the digestive tract. Nutrition in complex animals involves following steps. They are ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. These all steps take place in each part of our body. Let us know them one by one. So, first the mouth and buccal cavity. The food is cut by the teeth inside the mouth. Teeth mechanically break the food into small pieces. These teeth vary in appearance. Each tooth is rooted in a separate socket in the gums. So, there are two sets of teeth. The first set of teeth grows during infancy and they fall off at the age between 6 to 8 years. These are termed milk teeth. The second set that replaces them are the permanent teeth. The permanent teeth may last throughout life or fall off during old age or due to some dental diseases. Our teeth vary in appearance and perform different functions. Accordingly, they are given different names. So, there are 4 types of teeth: incisors, canines, premolars and molars. You can see in the picture types and arrangement of teeth. One set is we have upper and lower jaw teeth, right? So, you can see there these incisors are present in the front side of our mouth. 4 incisor teeth are there, 4 incisor. They help in cutting and biting teeth. Cutting and biting teeth. In a lower jaw 4, upper jaw 4, totally 8. Next, canine. Next to incisors we have canine teeth. They are 4 in number. Actually 4 in number. Upper jaw and lower jaw. They are 4 in number. 2 each in 2. Next is premolar. They are 4 in lower jaw, 4 in upper jaw. They are 8 in numbers. Next to that, molars. So, canine teeth help in piercing and tearing of food, and premolar and molar help in grinding and chewing. Grinding and chewing the food. They are 10 in lower jaw and 10 in upper jaw. Totally 20. So, totally we have 32 teeth. Right? So, totally we have 32 teeth in our lifetime. We have to take care of our teeth. Otherwise, what happens? If we take more chocolate, sweets, soft drinks and other sugar products, they cause tooth decay. Tooth decay. If we do not clean our teeth and mouth after eating, many harmful bacteria also begin to live and grow in it. These bacteria break down the sugars present from the leftover food and release acids which gradually damage the teeth, that causes tooth decay. So, we have to clean our teeth at least twice a day and rinse the mouth after every meal. Also, one should not put dirty fingers or any unwashed object in the mouth. One main part in our mouth is tongue. Tongue is a muscular organ attached at the back to the floor of the buccal cavity. It is free from the front and can help in mixing saliva with the food, swallowing the food, and talking or speaking and tasting with the help of taste buds for sweet, salt, sour and bitter food. You can see in the picture where we can identify the taste. You can see the picture there: bitter, sour, salt, sweet, etc. Salivary glands secrete saliva which break down starch into sugar. So in mouth, in the presence of salivary glands, saliva is secreted that breaks down starch into sugars. Next is food pipe or esophagus. Food pipe or esophagus. The swallowed food passes into the food pipe or esophagus. After chewing, the food goes to esophagus or food pipe. You may have observed sometime when you eat in a hurry, talk or laugh while eating, you may cough or get hiccups or a choking sensation. Why this happens? This happens when food particles enter the windpipe. The windpipe carries air from the nostrils to the lungs. It runs adjacent to the food pipe. Side by side they are, food pipe and windpipe. When food, during the act of swallowing, a flap-like wall closes the passage of the windpipe and guides the food into the food pipe. If by chance food particles enter the windpipe, we feel choked, get hiccups or cough. So hope you understood why we should not talk or laugh while eating. Right? And this esophagus is the tube-like structure which connects the mouth to the stomach and runs along neck and chest. It carries slightly digested food from the mouth to the stomach. Food is pushed downward. You can see there in the picture in that the food is pushed downward by a wave-like movement of the wall of food pipe as a result of alternate contraction and relaxation. This movement is called peristalsis. This movement is called peristalsis. The chewed food that enters the esophagus from mouth and is passed down to stomach is called bolus. Sometimes what happens, food is not accepted by our stomach and is vomited out because the food moves in the opposite direction, that is from stomach to mouth by antiperistaltic movement in esophagus. Next we will see what happens in stomach. The stomach was first discovered by an American doctor, William Beaumont, in 1822 accidentally in the man named Alexis Saint Martin. It is a thick-walled bag-like structure which is present on the left side of the abdomen. Its shape is like a flattened U and it is the widest part of the alimentary canal. So stomach is the widest part in the alimentary canal. The semi-digested food from esophagus enters into stomach where further digestion takes place. The inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus. hydrochloric acid and digestive juices. The mucus protects the lining of the stomach, and the acid kills many bacteria that enter along with the food and makes the medium in the stomach acidic and helps the digestive juices to act. So, the digestive juices break down the proteins into simpler substances. So, in stomach, the digestive juices break down the proteins into simpler substances. Next, let us see what happens in small intestine. It is highly coiled long tube with a length of about 7.5 meters. You can see here inside, that is small intestine. The small intestine is a narrow tube which receives secretion from the liver and pancreas. You can see there liver and pancreas here. The wall of small intestine also secretes digestive juices. The complete digestion of food takes place inside the small intestine, and the food components are also absorbed here. The largest gland of the body, that is liver, is the reddish brown colored gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. You can see here liver in the picture. It secretes bile juices which is stored in a sac-like structure called as gallbladder. The bile helps in the digestion of fats. It breaks the fat molecules into tiny droplets so that its further breakdown into simpler compounds becomes easy. The complete digestion of fats is done by pancreatic juice. This pancreatic juice is secreted by pancreas. The pancreas is a large cream colored gland which is located just below the stomach. You can see there, just below the stomach, you can see pancreas. And it secretes pancreatic juices. It breaks down fats into simpler compounds like fatty acid and glycerol, carbohydrates into simple sugars, and proteins into simpler amino acids. So, in a pancreas, the breakdown of fatty acid and glycerol and carbohydrate into simple sugar and proteins into simpler amino acids takes place. Next, we will say the absorption in the small intestine. How the absorption of food material takes place in a small intestine. The blood vessels in the walls of the intestine absorb the digested and water-soluble substance to produce energy for growth and development of animals. The inner walls of small intestine have thousands of finger-like outgrowths called villi. You can see in the picture finger-like structures. They are called villi. These villi help in increasing the surface area of a small intestine for the absorption of digested food. Villi possess a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. These blood vessels absorb the digested food material and transport it to the different organs of the body, where these are used to build, repair the body and to provide energy. So, this is called assimilation. So, assimilation takes place in the intestine. In the cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. The food that remains undigested in small intestine and unabsorbed enters into the large intestine. So, you can see here large intestine also, say small intestine is inside the outer larger intestine. So, large intestine is a 1.5 meter long tube. It is wider and shorter than the small intestine. You know that small intestine is 7.5 meter and it's thin. But this large intestine is 1.5 meter long tube-like structure and it is wider than small intestine. The undigested semi-solid food is passed from small intestine to large intestine. The large intestine absorbs water and salt from the undigested food. The remaining waste material then passes to the rectum and remains there for some time in the form of semi-solid feces. This waste fecal matter is then removed through the anus from the body by the process called egestion. So, this process of excreting waste material, totally excreting waste material from the body is called egestion. If this waste material remain in our body for long, that converted into toxic material, poisonous. So we have to put it outside time to time. So here we completed digestion in human beings. These are the steps involved in digestion and also the parts involved in a digestive system.